Hey guys, this is Masterath here in stereo. Woo! Okay guys, now this is another episode of MasterRants. This one, on the other hand, is not a Let's Playing MasterRant and it's not a gaming MasterRant. No. Now, I've actually done a load of other MasterRants on my main channel. It's on a playlist on my main channel. So if you want to see more rants, including rants about teenage mothers, then go check it out. It's on my channel. The link will be in the description below. But anyway, so I should be doing this rant like I do with the rest of them, which is pretty much standing up, over on the other side of the room, ranting my ass off. But there are people trying to sleep upstairs, and I'm recording this about 9 o'clock. So I've got respect for my mummy and pappy. Okay, so let's begin this rant, shall we? This rant is one that's quite close to my heart, and it's about religion. Now, I already know that a bunch of people are already going to click the dislike button or start saying I'm going to go to hell and all that crap. I honestly don't care. Because if you're going to just judge me because I'm going to rant about religion now, then you might as well get the hell off this channel and never come back. Because I state my opinion just like you do on everyone who states their opinion on religion that you don't like. Okay, now that out of the way, I know you guys aren't all like that. Hopefully none of you are like that, because you guys are good people. We all know that. So do I. Okay, so, this one is mostly about religious extremists. People of a certain religion who will pretty much try and badger you, and then even, like, just force you to join their religion. And stuff like that. People who try and cram religion down your throat. And people who will bring religion in to subjects when it really isn't necessary. First, I'm talking about, you look at some of the big YouTube videos, you will see comments which get into religious arguments. And these can happen, like, stupidly. It could be someone saying a word which we all say every day, but to a religious extremist, it's sort of like, oh no, he didn't. You know, things like hell, or good God, bloody hell, Jesus Christ. But, you know, stuff like that. And people go, oh, you shouldn't say that, you're going to hell. Or even it could be like, someone could pick up on like their profile picture, or their display picture on YouTube, which is like, I don't know, like a picture of like the devil, or something satanic. You know, they could be like a fan of thrash metal or something. Or it could be just like their username, like, Bacon Worshipper 52. I don't know if there is actually someone with that name out there, but if you do exist, you have an awesome name. That is quite awesome. Anyway, and they will start an argument for no reason. You know, saying, oh, you worship bacon, you're going to hell, because that's worshipping a false idol. And that just annoys me. And it's the fact that you've got a bunch of gurus on YouTube, and these people are very highly subbed, basically for saying the same crap every video. Oh, Jesus this, Buddha this, Allah that. I just thought I'd mention, guys, if you don't know by now, my religious status is, I'm an atheist. Actually, the name Masterath stems from my atheism. And most people think it's just Master and Wrath combined together. No. That's the best thing, because it goes a bit deeper than that. It actually stems from, I was looking for a name for my YouTube name, and the first thing I thought of was Levant from Jade Coon, but someone already had that, and I didn't want to have something like Levant93, because, well, you know, there's a bunch of people who've got, like, numbers after their names. I wanted a base name to call myself, so it was at the time. It was, 6 years ago, so I was about 14, and I was really, like, sort of halfway through my atheism. So, Masterath is actually an acronym. And Masterath actually stands for Most Atheists Stand to Ever Raise a True Hero, which I know is a bit of a cheap shot at Christianity. That is literally what it is, because people who don't know, I actually went to a Church of England school for 7 years. I was Christian for pretty much my entire childhood until I was about 11. And we had religion forced upon us. You know, a bit like the people who knock on your door and say, I used to be a cripple, but now I can walk, thank you God, and all that crap when you know they're telling the lie. I seriously, had to pray once a day, or every time we were there. Our assemblies had bloody hymns in it. We had pray. This just proves how good, right, and how much it affected my mind. All I can remember is, dear God, and that's it. I can't remember anything else my head teacher said after that. So yeah, I know about Christianity, for example, and that is, if I'm honest with you, one of the worst cases when it comes to extremists. Them and the Islams, I'd say, are the worst two. Everyone else is just sort of like, well, okay, you can join our religion, but if you don't want to, that's okay. Christianity, especially, coming from England, which is a very Christian-based empire of countries, we're well known for sort of having a few extremists, but they seem to be getting worse. As in, for example, we get Jehovah's Witnesses, which, if I'm honest, is hilarious when they turn up at my door. Because it would always be a contest between my sister and my dad to see which one could get rid of the Jehovah's Witnesses quicker. The current record is about 8 seconds when my dad said, can you make this quick? I've got to go down the hospital and donate blood. Jehovah's Witnesses don't believe in blood donating, obviously. Which, if I'm perfectly honest with you, that blood could save a life. So, Jehovah's Witnesses, you're killing lives. Shut up. And stop coming to my door, you gits. Anyway, so I turned atheist because I went through a lot of crap as a child. And I'd done all the praying and stuff like that. And nothing happened. I still got bullied at my school. I still could hear my parents arguing, sometimes nightly. I was still quite alone because my brother and sister had their own domains upstairs and I had my domain in this room right here. So I was very shut off, and this was before the time when Wi-Fi came in and all that stuff, so Skype wasn't invented, Xbox Live or PlayStation Network or whatever, they weren't invented. I didn't have a mobile phone when I was 8? Because it would have been the size of my arm. Every time my parents would argue, I would sort of pray and say, please, please God, stop them from arguing and make them stop for good. I'm 20 years old now. They still argue. I'll tell you the story. They argued 2 months ago about a boiled freaking egg. A boiled egg, folks. The fact is, if the whole, sort of praise system works like it did, like it was portrayed in Jim Carrey's Bruce Almighty, God may need to check the spam in his email, because look at the ones he's bloody missing, most of mine, I'll tell you. So that's pretty much why I'm an atheist, and I've had pretty much the same amount of crap as a atheist as I did when I was Christian. Only the difference is, I have control of my own life, and I don't need to worship anyone, because, well, I live for this moment. I don't live, in the possible chance of sinning. So anyway, you just want to just walk up to people in real life who pretty much try and convert you or say, oh, you're going to hell, or just punch them in the face. Because they are trying to force their opinion. It's like on anything. They're trying to force their opinion on you. And it's the point that they think that they can force their opinion on you. Like, oh, I'm fine, I'm just doing the Lord's work. Doesn't matter what religion you are. I'm just trying to do the Lord's work. When someone questions what their religion is, oh, that's unfair. No, I can't have that. Sorry. In the words of Independence Day, welcome to Earth, bitch. Speaking of bitch, stop bitching. And bitching. And bitching. Especially bitching, using religion pretty much to just try and make your point seem a little bit, at least a little bit believable. And now I'm going to go on to a subject which my American subscribers will know about. But anyway, it's about gay marriages is now legal, which I am in full support of. Because really, we've had, it doesn't matter what colour skin you are, what age you are, or or what gender you're interested in. Anyone should be allowed to marry. We've had blacks marrying whites, whites marrying blacks, blacks marrying blacks, whites marrying whites. We've had men marrying women. We've had 70-year-olds marrying 20-year-olds. Why can't we have men marrying men and women marrying women? The problem with supporting gay rights and gay marriages is that people automatically think you're one of them. No, I'm just humane. Anyway, so this still stems from Michelle Buckman, is that her name? She's a... What is she? Is she, like, part of some sort of, like, constituents of state or something like that? Anyway, so, she has brought religion into, trying to prevent the Supreme Court order of this, saying that God made it so only a man and a woman could wed. Now, that is true. However, not all of us are Christians. Some of us are Muslims. Some of us are Islamics. Some of us are Sikhs. Some of us are Buddhists. Some of us are other religions. If you are of another religion, I do apologize if I don't mention yours. And some of us just really don't have a religion, or we don't know if there is one, for example, an agnostic. And personally, we don't give a shit. Most of us actually are fully in favour of gay marriages. But yeah, sort of trying to bring religion into something to try and prove your point. That just proves how just how tedious religion has gotten. We remember in the days when it was sort of like religion would only be mentioned in churches and religious areas. Now people believe... I believe George Bush and Tony Blair mentioned religion during the Iraq War. I believe sort of like God is guiding me to kill all these Iraqis because they have weapons of mass destruction. It's been years, you guys. We're still waiting. Nothing. Nothing at all. They were magically converted just to make their things sound a little bit better. Which in the cases of George W. Bush and Tony Blair, it just made it worse. The fact is you can't convert someone. There is no way one person can convert another. The only true way that someone can be converted into a religion is if they convert themselves. If they're not fully into it, they're not converted. This also goes for preachers in town centres. Now, luckily in my town, we're okay for it. We have a preacher, but he stands outside Poundland, which for all Americans out there is a £1 shop. It's like having if there was one in America called Dollarland. I don't know what the American equivalent is, but it'd be worth $1. Everything in the store is worth $1. And he's just there going, God welcomes you into his heart, God welcomes you into his realm, God welcomes you into heaven, all that stuff. True story this is, me and my sister went to Swindon a week ago, in fact, which was quite boring. We actually went so my sister could get a tattoo done. I was considering getting one too, but didn't have the money, and I couldn't be bothered to get one, and we couldn't find one in the end. Anyway, only two good things happened. Well, two interesting things happened in Swindon. One was the bus ride home on a double-decker with a bus driver who, well, obviously didn't know it was a double-decker and decided to drive around the back roads with very low branches. Me and my sister was right there at the front singing Suicidal Bus Driver Man. The second thing was that there was a preacher standing outside Iceland. Now, I thought if you're standing outside Iceland, you'd be there going, would you like to buy these Iceland prawns? You know, just make sure we don't get clogged with M&S crap. No, he was pretty much just shouting, you're all going to hell. Oh, I'm going to hell. Okay. Thanks for that. I'm going to now go to the co-op and get a Diet Coke with my name on it. Which I did. Here's the proof. Bam! Okay, so I'm sorry, you're not going to convert anyone if you just say you're going to hell. Because, if I'm honest, that phrase has been used so much. You know, go to hell, you! Go to hell this! Go to hell that! I think I named one of my parts of Sonic Genesis, the Labyrinth Zone boss, can go to hell. So really, that doesn't work on us anymore. Maybe in like the 1800s, 1900s, it would. But nowadays, it wouldn't. And I'm sorry, this is another thing which just sort of stems my atheism. It just proves, I think the churches are even starting to blaspheme. There's a church, my town has, I believe, 4 churches. 2 pretty much on the same road. This church had, you know, it's got like notice boards at the front saying, you know, normal stuff like annual church fete to raise money for the awareness of this. Yeah, that's fair enough. Yeah. Here's a list of like photographers to photograph your weddings. And like topics for the next sermon, stuff like that, you know, usual stuff. I am not making this up. There was a poster on one of these churches' billboards that said, God gives you better direction than your sat-nav. I am not joking. That actually happened. And there was another one saying, unlike your phone on low battery, God will never die on you. Is that technically blaspheming? Is that technically using the Lord's name in vain? I believe it is. I went through religion for 7 years Pretty much straightforward. I know about religion. That's blasphemy if I've ever heard it, and it pretty much just stems my atheism even more. So, thank you, odd church, for helping me out there. Anyway, so that's pretty much my stuff. I'm not going to talk about me anymore. This is just going to be about pretty much all the extremists and whatever, just trying to convert people and just trying to, make you do something else, trying to scare you into something you don't want to do. It's pretty much religious peer pressure. You were told by, well, in my case, DARE, which was an association which used to come to schools and say, don't do drugs, don't smoke, and don't drink. Luckily, 2 have worked on me, but I like to go out for a pint every so often. And they said about peer pressure, don't give into it. Well, technically, that's what people are doing who try and convert you. All they're doing is they're trying to peer pressure. It's peer pressure, right? We were told this as a child not to give into it. Do you really think we are going to give into it? Well, yeah, we didn't listen when it comes to some things, but I'm not going to join some sort of religion just because someone is trying to bully me into it. Oh, I'm going to go to hell if I don't. There are so many of them. How do we know which one is actually real, if there is one? The fact is, there is no real proof that any of these exist. And until there is full proof, I'm sticking to living my life the way I want to. And I know a load of other people who are on the exact same wavelength. Anyway, that's the end of this Masterath. I'd just like to say one last thing to all extremists, all YouTube gurus who try and convert you to their religion, random people who will get into arguments on YouTube, preachers, and that one church who thinks that they can try and, employ the young people because they talk about sat-navs and mobile phones, which, by the way, doesn't work. And to everyone all over the world who thinks that they're better because they have a religion, shut the fuck up, because you don't. You're not better than us. We are all equals, so shut up and live your own life, because I am, and I don't want it to be anywhere near you.